What's going on, guys? This video is going to be a little different. I'm just going to be walking around talking about both the Philadelphia game and the news that the Giants just clinched a playoff berth from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, losing to the New Orleans Saints. So it's not going to be a typical video. I usually go over the stats from the past game and then recap the game. This is not really much of a recap. I'm just going to be talking about both that game and the playoff berth and what that means for the Giants moving forward, and what we should expect moving forward. So we'll start off with the game. The game was absolutely terrible. The defense didn't even play that bad. We only allowed 17 offensive points, which is better than 23, like how Philly scored on us last time. So the score was, I believe, 24-19. The offense absolutely played terrible. But I did like the fact that we moved down the field so much that we scored field goals, and that's what I like. I don't like this whole. You guys let me know in the comment section below. I really don't like this whole new thing where teams just go for it on fourth down. It kind of loses the integrity of the game. I like the fact that I don't mind the fact that if we go on the opening drive, kick a field goal on the opening drive. I don't care. I mean, we're up 3, and we could build field goals up in order to keep a lead going or catch up in a game, and I think that's what the Giants had to do there. I believe they went for it on fourth down a couple times. I believe they converted some and they missed some, but I'm a field goal kind of guy. Just get the points. Just get the points. That's it. That's all I gotta say. But we scored a bunch of field goals. Did we only score like one touchdown? I believe. Something like that, but it was bad. But, the receivers really came out to play. I believe Odell Beckham had 11 receptions for 150 yards. He usually does that on Philly towards the end of the year. And then Victor Cruz had 8 receptions for 84 yards. And Sterling Shepard, I believe, had 60 yards, so like 61 yards or something like that, somewhere around that area. And you know what? Eli Manning threw it 63 times, had 38 completions out of 63 tries, had just roughly 350 yards passing, I believe, just roughly that amount. And, I mean, it was the quietest 350 yards I've ever seen in my life. To me, I thought our running game didn't do that bad, that Eli should have thrown it 63 times. I believe that is his record for most pass attempts he's ever thrown. I believe his pass record was like 52 or something like that. And I believe this breaks a record. But wow, this game was just bad. And I saw it coming. I just really thought the Giants could really wake up and win this game. And a lot of people were telling me that we don't play. I mentioned that in the previous videos in my prediction video. I said that we don't play well in the link. We just don't. We can't win there. And we didn't. I mean, I saw it. I should have seen it coming. I had a feeling that we could have lost this game, but I had that confidence, but that didn't show up too well. So, Eli Manning's not playing very well at all. But what we're gonna have to do in the draft is try drafting a quarterback, I guess. I mean, Ryan Nassib, you guys can tell, isn't the answer. So, there's a lot of quarterbacks in this draft. I'm not saying do it first round because I think we've got plenty more holes to fill in the first round. We definitely need an offensive lineman. I don't think linemen are really strong in this draft. Running back is really strong in this draft. If they want to, do they want to keep Paul Perkins as the number 1 back in the future, or do they want him to be a kind of change of pace back? A really good backup, because a lot of people love Paul Perkins, guys, but I just don't see him being a consistent playmaker in the NFL yet. He's not very good at pass blocking. The Giants would have to, sign a running back to pass block, and it will be very predictable for the defense. If they see that running back coming out for pass block situations, then, it's probably not going to be a run, and when Paul Perkins is in, he's probably going to be a run. So, there's a lot of things to Paul Perkins' game that I'm still questioning when looking at him play, but I really think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong at all, he's a really good player. But I'm not opposed of drafting a running back in the first round this year. There's plenty of running backs, or in the second round, but there's plenty of running backs we can choose from. So there's that. Moving on, and so quarterback could be one. There's a lot of different quarterbacks in this draft coming up, from all the way from the first round, possibly the first round, to like the fourth or fifth round. You can get quarterbacks there. So and they're very talented. You could find pretty good quarterbacks in this draft. Late. Quarterbacks to develop, because we wouldn't be drafting a quarterback to start next year. We would be drafting a quarterback to learn under Eli, learn under Ben McAdoo, learn under this offense. If we keep the offense, keep this West Coast offense that we're running, because it's not really working that well right now, this season. So, moving on to the playoffs. The Giants clinched the playoffs with the loss of Tampa Bay. And this, I'm very happy. Shout out to Giants Mafia. We finally did it. We're back in, and we could be scary. It depends on what Eli shows up. Which Eli shows up. We could be scary, and we could be one and done. But as far as the playoff picture stands right now, we would be going over to Seattle. That's a problem. That's a big problem. I don't like playing in Seattle. I would not. That's the only team I fear, and I told this to a lot of people. That's the only team right now I'm fearing. I don't care if we play Dallas, because even if we may lose the game, because I don't really see a lot of teams sweeping them and then beating them again in the playoffs. It's not really that common. But I'm more confident going in. If you were to ask me if I would rather play Seattle in Seattle or Dallas in Dallas, I'd rather play Dallas in Dallas, for sure. Even though I think Dallas is a better team, I think we just match up well with them. So I do not want to play in Seattle. If the season were to end right now, we would play in Seattle. This Washington game coming up, guys, do not think that the Giants don't need to win this game. We still need to win this game. If we want better positioning in the playoffs, meaning that if we see Washington in the playoffs, if Washington wins this game, they're in the playoffs. And I don't want that to happen, because I know Washington doesn't, they have our number right now. They're on a hot streak against us. And if we let them win, they get into the playoffs. And let's say somehow they beat, I believe they would face Detroit. They would face Detroit. And so, say if they beat Detroit, okay, because it could happen. Detroit barely beat them. I believe it was 20-17 this season. Say Washington wins, and say somehow we beat Seattle, okay, because I think we're going to have to face Seattle. Somehow we beat Seattle. We would have to face Washington. I just don't know how we would beat Washington, because Washington, they have our number right now. We come up close against them. All our games that we lost to them were close, but, they're going to be a problem, okay? That's it. And I'd rather face, if worst comes to worst, I'd rather face Green Bay. I know that's crazy saying that, but I would rather either face Green Bay or Tampa Bay. Green Bay in the playoffs, I don't know what happens to Eli in the playoffs at Lambeau, but we seem to play better. I don't know, they would actually play against us, so we would be the higher seed. So they would actually play us at home. So I think I'd rather be comfortable playing Green Bay. But let me know what you guys think. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're not wrong for saying you would rather drop this game, because you don't want to see Eli get hurt, because there's not much depth at quarterback. You don't want to see Odell get hurt. You don't want to see Landon Collins get hurt, or Olivier Vernon. You don't want to see our big players get hurt. That's fine. I completely understand that. I'm not against you guys saying that you would rather see the Giants drop this game. It's just, for me, I would rather see the Giants win this game and come out healthy. That's what I would like to see, because I don't want to see Washington in the playoffs. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Philadelphia was a crazy game. Sorry I didn't recap it too much, but I mean, it was a crazy game. It sucked. And guys, Giants fans, I've seen a lot of you video makers talk about those blackout uniforms and how those uniforms, we got blacked out again. But guys, do not feed into the Philadelphia garbage, okay? Stop feeding into that. They think because they black out, they're just gonna win against the Giants. They think because they wear a certain uniform that they somehow have this power, and that's what you get from ringless teams. So They beat us because they're talented. The Philadelphia Eagles beat us because they were the better team. A 5-9 team was better than I believe at the time, a 10-4 team. So there's that for you guys. But yeah, Philadelphia played a great game. We'll see how they come out next year if they, in the draft, and they're probably gonna reset their whole entire wide receiver core. Their wide receiver core is gonna get. Nobody's gonna return. I mean, they might even cut Nelson Aguilar. They might even cut Dorial Green-Beckham might stay. Jordan Matthews, see about him. He's all right. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I said that like 4 times already, but I'll see you guys in the next video.